What is innovation?
Customer needs change every day. You got to be able to meet them.
To be able to spot human talent and to be a good leader.
Innovators dream of things that never were and ask why not.
Creators that continue to be challenging, you have to keep creating.
Make people's lives easier.
I feel where curiosity and talent meet each other.
Future. It's recognizing the future.
Reimagine what is possible.
Innovation to me means creating something entirely different.
Leaders from Silicon Valley, China, and all over the world.
Welcome to Innovation Dialogue. I'm Diana Ding, and today's Innovation Dialogue is a special discussion on Vallco Mall's future among community leaders and citizens of Cupertino. This is the last session. If you haven't watching our other parts of this discussion, you can get on www.dingding.tv to watch our 4 episodes of discussion. And you can also download our app, which you can search Ding Ding TV to download the app, and you will be able to watch this show on your mobile channel, on your mobile phone. So actually on this section, we're going to have a Q&A. So citizens and the audience ask questions. The mayor and the former mayor of Cupertino answer the questions about the future of Vallco Shopping Mall. And let's go on next question.
Next question is from the same person, and it's asking about public transportation. Does the city has any plan on improving the public transportation?
I'm going to put one sentence here and there. I've talked too much. But the fact is, you see buses drive around, there's nobody on them. So blaming it on the city might not be the right idea, because you don't want to get on them. We might need a solution other than buses, because people in Cupertino, when you see a bus go through Cupertino, if there's more than 2 people there, it's a shock. Well, counting the driver, 3. So I think you just can't. That, although I'll charge them with the housing problem, I'm not going to charge them with that problem.
So Richard is correct. I mean, the transportation system is controlled by the Valley Transportation Authority, which is county. And in order to fill in those buses, you got to create the critical mass. And there is a fear that if you have more housing, if you have more jobs, yes, you're going to have more people, and that's how you're going to fill in that light rail. That's how you're going to fill in that BART. That's how you're going to fill in that that bus. So it's a double-edged sword. So maybe with the creation of the Apple Campus 2, with the new critical mass at Vallco and at Tienza College, there may be an opportunity to convince VTA that we do have that critical mass. Both Ross Nixon and I have went to speak to the executive director of VTA, and again, because of our general plan doesn't sustain a critical mass, they don't see the ridership going up. How much did they say per box that they were getting, the general manager said, Rod? It was very, very little, and they're not making money on buses in the West Valley areas.
Okay.
I would like to add some things on this. You know, in the 90s, some 20 years ago, there was a vision to enmesh the entire valley principally with light rail. And that light rail included coming up 85 from where it stops today, you know, past Almaden, past 87, all the way up here, and then going north on some street. And we've rather lost that vision, or put another way, as Gilbert says, VTA has lost that vision. And I think it's unfortunate. They say the light rail system is old, outmoded, and 100 million a mile or some ridiculous amount. But what I'm here to tell you is we don't even have VTA supporting an express bus going north from Cupertino to the mass employment centers of Mountain View, Palo Alto, Sunnyvale, along 101, along 237. We don't have a single express bus today. So ignoring, for just a moment, focusing on that big deal, which is the commute up 85 or Lawrence Expressway and so many things that we've talked about, we have no solutions for that today. And it's been a static system for 20 years. I would love to see folks of Cupertino stand up as the ballot measure for 2016 is considered, which Santa Clara County residents will be asked if they want to tax themselves additionally for things like, the BART extension. Could we talk about providing some support for not just Cupertino, but all the cities in the West Valley, and thinking about transportation as not all hubbing through downtown San Jose, as it seems to do today. Everything has to go into the center and then come back out again. But, frankly, if you have a job along North 1st Street and you live in Cupertino and you have to get up to Facebook, I mean, gosh, if you're lucky, your company is running these buses. And thank goodness we have them. If we didn't, we would have a much worse traffic problem. But frankly, the fact that so many of these large private employers have put these buses in place is really a failure of our mass transit system to serve all the residents, the seniors, and our school kids, right? I mean, Gilbert and I talked to VTA about community shuttles, and they do have them in a few communities. They typically are subsidized by some daddy Warbucks, in Google and Mountain View and so forth. So we will continue to push on VTA, but it is tough. I'd like to see if there's interest as we're developing things. Could you imagine, I'm told at De Anza College that the parking garage is not structurally sound for earthquakes and it needs to come down. Could we get government money, including VTA and federal and state money, to rebuild a transit center there and a park and ride facility, and then get an express bus that would go up 85, and better express service along De Anza Boulevard for those students who do come principally from San Jose to use De Anza College? I think there are a lot of opportunities here, but yeah, I mean, the critical thing in any evaluation of any transit agency is what's the ridership, and can we get that fare box up? Caltrain is the golden example in our area of a very successful fare box recovery, and the rest of it not so much. Gary, I think.
Yes,
yeah, I'd like to say that, first of all, I went to the VTA board meeting last night. They have a two-minute oral communication window for citizens to speak. There was a lady there from Saratoga and myself, and we spoke on the issue of transportation in Cupertino and Saratoga. I believe if we want the VTA to hear it, we have to have more people show up at VTA board meetings in that 2-minute oral window and make a presentation. My presentation was basically, and I want to compliment you, Rod, on bringing up the parking garage issue, because that's a great idea. My suggestion was, and if Peter Powell is listening, I've never met the man or talked to him, but I heard he was listening to this. I would suggest that, as I suggested to the VTA, as Vallco is planning for their redevelopment, one of the things they may want to consider with the VTA and perhaps some federal funds is a transportation center or a transit center on Stevens Creek and Wolf, where the BRT buses, bus rapid transit buses, could come down Stevens Creek and not continue into Cupertino, but stop there, not taking out our beautiful medians or not losing lanes on Stevens Creek Boulevard, and then put in a community bus system. Believe it or not, I went through all this in 2 minutes. I even told him I combed my hair for them, then we could have a community bus system, maybe like Los Gatos has. I believe we're one of the few cities in the valley now that doesn't have a community bus system. The VTA just purchased a number of hybrid community buses. They're small buses. They hold about, I think, 12 to 18 people. They have them in Los Gatos, Milpitas, Gilroy even has a community bus system. We don't have one. We can't have a community bus system without a transit center. And the idea I put forth to them, and I put forth to Peter Powell, is the way to pay for that would be to sell the air rights above it and put some of that low-income housing above the transit center. There are solutions for everything if we really think these things through. So I'm not proposing a high rise of 100 stories over the transit center, but we could get maybe some low-income housing there.
Okay, yeah.
The next question is from Lisa Warren, and she's asking, why do we need so many office space in Vallco, and especially all of this office space are in one geographical location of the city?
I can guess, but it's only a guess, that it's part of the formula of making the economics work. The owner of Vallco is already spending hundreds of millions of dollars to get a hold of the property. Somehow he's got to find something in there that's going to pay off those loans. That's going to be, in the end, I think the number that floats around is $1 billion he's going to have to put into that center to do the things that we want, which is better retail, better entertainment, maybe some housing for local folks. So there's a formula ultimately that he has to get to work out to pay off that $1 billion of loans. We can go in and shape what they're going to do. We can say we really want to keep that ice skating ring or whatever is your favorite thing. I think we should talk to the owners of the property and say what we think we should keep, and I think our council will stand behind us. But in the end, it has to pencil out, as they say. And I can only guess that's what it is. The commercial space in Cupertino, as I said, is very expensive. It drove my company out of town. We got to $4.40 a square foot. I only pay $1.08 down in Campbell, right? I had to move out. And that's because there isn't enough of it. So my guess is it's very economically favorable to do commercial space, and it's part of an equation of coming up with $1 billion to renovate the place.
So with that really without being specific, I think Richard hit on the dot. We don't have to do office. We can do housing. We don't have to do housing. We can do hotel. So there is a trade-off that we're asking the community that what is the right fit. And as we go through the public process, we will hear that, and it's really up to the property owner to discuss and explain why he wants to put these type of things on the property.
One other thing I want to add, which is that I think we are at risk in Cupertino for our revenue sources. So when I first joined the council, it wasn't that long ago, Vallco was a very significant funder for the city through sales tax revenue. Now the big one is Apple, and there's two things bad about that. One is, if anything were to happen to Apple, like their business were to go sour or they were to move, it would be big trouble for us. We are very dependent on one company. But we are also very dependent on one piece of law, which allows us to get revenue from business-to-business sales. And every year that law gets challenged, that there should not be tax on business-to-business internet sales. And one day, some legislator could wake up and decide we're not going to allow this anymore, and it'd be a severe impact to us. So we do need sources of revenue in Cupertino, and we need some diversity. We're at risk if we don't allow another employer in here besides just Apple, who, of course, has bought up the properties that used to be HP, used to be Compaq, used to be Digital, used to be Tandem. All those players are gone. They're all wrapped into one now. And so we have to watch out for that risk, and we're going to have to diversify something to stay safe.
Yes, well, actually, we would like to hear people from this part. Do you have any comments into the questions that audience asked? Any of you, yes. Andy?
I think from the public safety point of view, our number one concern is whatever decision both the property owner and the resident and the city council decide to do with Vallco, we want to make sure there are proportional growth for the public safety resources, because we need additional protection both from the police, from the fire, from the emergency resource. We just want to make sure that that is built into as part of the plan part of the discussion. I think during the Apple campus discussion, it was very, very well run, where all the public safety resource was highlighted. In fact, I went to the last Apple meeting. That was the beginning of the discussion. We started with the public safety resource increase for the Apple campus. And I just like to echo, if all possible, during this very important process, we want to make sure all the public safety resource are always in the forefront of the discussion. So this way, whatever we decide to build, as our new icon of Cupertino, we have proportional growth in the public resource to make sure we can protect the property and the traffic and all the resident safety for Cupertino residents.
Andy, do you have you come out any concerns regarding the safety?
I think right now we are in, as you know, every month we have a Public Safety Commission meeting. And so we have the chief of the fire, we have also the captain from the sheriff's office. So we are in constant contact with all the public resource, all the management people. And I believe also weekly, the chief of police also meet with the city council, with the city managers. So there is a constant process within the city. But I just want to make sure also the residents are aware that this is a critical component because, as Richard mentioned earlier, people are very concerned about the traffic congestion. People are concerned about the school crowding. So we want to make sure that, yes, we acknowledge that. And in our discussion, in all the process, we put that as part of the front discussion to make sure people knows that we, the city, acknowledge your concerns, and we want to make sure you also know that we're doing everything possible to make sure the public safety are discussed and their safety are protected.
Okay, thank you, Andy. Yes, Jerry.
Yeah, I'll just repeat the three aspects: the process, the rationale, as well as the communication. Obviously, the leaders, you've put in a great deal of efforts, and we all know far more stays ahead. One particular aspect of the rationale in the overall planning, I'm getting the feeling, I think it's a journey of faith, of course, because we will have the faith, we'll get there. Along the way, of course, the community resource planning for the development plan, whether it's a mix, however mix of the retail, the office, and the building, and the intangible social cost, the satisfaction level of the residents for the process in which this is upfront calculated, quantified, and communicated. I think that's very important. I know we all recognize it, but I just want to stress again, and we have all the technology and engineers. These are really of paramount importance to do it right. In the process, then your result, you will rally the group. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I think time is almost there, and we would like to invite the president of Rotary Club, Han Wei, give us a summarize for today's discussion.
I'm sorry, I have a little cold. So Diana asked me to summarize this a little bit. So it looks like we have a lot of work for our city council members. So what I want to little summarize is, this beautiful little spiral of Cupertino that you want to keep as a whole, right? We want to keep the great schools, keep the good vibrant business, keep the good neighborhood. And so planning is so important. Plan for 2040, not just plan for 8 years, 10 years. Spend some resources and do some research and get citizens' input, get young people's input, and be innovative. And I think that's the best investment that the city can do right now into plan ahead of time. As for the hot spots that people are mentioning about traffic, about schools, I think Gary mentioned about we have innovative people here. I mean, we can solve any problems. Cupertino built the Merritt Bridge. We can build almost everything. So I'm very positive that we can do a lot of things that's going to satisfy the citizens' requirements, that's going to move our city forward, and that's going to make our city great. And we have an investor who's going to spend $2 billion to invest in Cupertino. They see something in us. So let's not underestimate what we have. We have a great city that people are willing to invest, and so let's work with the builder, the developer, work with the people who want to make the city a better place. And then when we have community forums, when we go in there, we come in with a positive attitude. We want to move forward, build better place for Cupertino. So we're charging our city council members a lot of work to do. And I really think that this is a great opportunity for our current council members to, to show your leadership and to show our next generation what we can do to build Cupertino into 2040.
And right back at you, we'll charge all the residents to be robust and engaged as we go through
Absolutely.
the process, right?
The other suggestion I have is the city of Cupertino government does not stand alone. You have other agencies in our city, the 3 school districts, CUSD, Fremont Union High School, the Dianza, West Valley Community Services, Northwest YMCA, the Chamber of Commerce. We have other agencies who serve our citizens too. So if we work and collaborate with all the citizens, put resources together and build a city together, not just stand alone like this is the city, because when those organizations serve our citizens, they also serve your citizens. So, space is the most important commodity. The schools have space. Maybe we can do things together to pool resources together and do things together. So I think the city needs to kind of start to consider you're not a standalone government. You work, there are a lot of places would like to work with you to serve the community. So that's 2 suggestions that I'm going to charge with our current city council members.
And I just wanted to follow up with that, is that, we definitely want to work together with the school district. And a lot of Cupertino residents are very frustrated that the school district is not within our jurisdiction, and they feel that the schools are very overcrowded. And that is a perception that we have to work together and say that we do have the adequate spaces. We are trying to create more AP classes for our students, but it's not within the city's jurisdiction. But we definitely have been working collaboratively, from the Rotary Club to the Chamber and all the water district and everything. So it's really a collaborative effort, and I just want to leave with that note that we are all working together.
Okay, it's great. Yeah, really, I like, that's why I like Hanwei. She's very positive all the time. I think today we got all the positive people here and discuss about this important issue. Maybe in the future it's not the Vallco Mall. I don't know if we're still called the Vallco Mall or some other name.
It's still Vallco.
Yeah, still Vallco. Okay, well, it doesn't matter. For now, yeah, for now. But we all want this place to be something that we can be proud of. So it's very important to keep people happy. Keep people in Cupertino happy and keep our young kids happy, keep next generation happy. That's why we're doing this, and that's what we're doing here today. And after today's discussion, we're going to post this video on the internet, so without cutting one word. So, yes. Yes, so including your cough. So well, feel free to forward to your friends and to the people who care about that. And you can also get on Ding Ding TV, www.dingding.tv. We're going to post this today. And also you can download our app. If you search Ding Ding TV, and you can download our app, which this content will be jumped on the very front for a while, for a few days. So you can easily share with your friends with your cell phone. And also this content is going to be on YouTube channel. So more audience will be able to watch that. We're also going to send this to several other TV channels and to China. So this is something really, I'm so excited and so honored to have our community leaders out here and our audience and you united for a better community. Yes, thank you so much for everybody's participation. Thank you. Thank you. As a startup in Silicon Valley, innovation is our DNA. It's inside our blood. What is innovation?
Very confident.
It's a way of thinking, it's a philosophy, it's a mindset. It's very closely related to leadership.
For me, it's really about finding the right fit between the product and the market.
Have a strong technology position, a strong market impact.
Innovation can be an idea, can be a product, can be a service, or can be a thinking. It can be everything out-of-box thinking, not limited to your background, to the past. Welcome to Innovation Dialogue. I'm Diana Dane, and today we are going to talk about Cloud Festival. Today we have Carrie Davis, and she's here to share her story, which is so inspiring. What we are doing here is to summarize, bring out the point, and give a good presentation. Help people to bring out their idea to the whole world.
It's very important to be able to spot human talent and to be a good leader.
More importantly, it's how our corporate and partners perceive the value that's come out of the event.
It was all about seizing the opportunity rather than looking at the world as a set of problems.
I want to change the paradigm of angel investing being local. I want all of us to think global and to look at great opportunities in Asia or Europe, wherever it is in the world.
Come to Ding TV. Let us work together to bring out your idea to share with the whole world.